to the Fantasy Footballers Dynasty Podcast with Borg, Betz, and a baller.
Welcome back. Wednesday, October 15th, Fantasy Footballers Dynasty Podcast. I'm fresh off of vacation, Kyle Borganoni, and I'm joined by Matthew Betz and Mike Wright.
And you're in mid-season form, Kyle. It's like you never left.
Yeah.
I got this.
Matt, what was it? Matthew?
I was going with the original pronunciation, the original Greek.
Ah, yes. The old German Matthew.
I was joking on the DFS and betting show that Kyle and I do together. The Tuesday show of last week, Kyle's, like, the vibes could not have been higher. And I told him, Mike, I was like, hey, there's a couple days in the calendar where, like, you're always in a great mood. Whether it's like right before an important holiday or, you've got a long time off of work, like Kyle could not have been in a better mood Tuesday. And now he's coming back. He's fresh. He's ready to go. Vibes are high again. By next week, not sure what version of Kyle we're going to get. So while it's still good right now, we should enjoy this.
I mean, after coming off an epic Monday night win, there's no way the Falcons blow it on another primetime game this week against the 49ers. No way. No chance.
How did that same team lose 30-0 to the Carolina Panthers?
No one knows. No one has any clue how you can lose 30-0 to the Panthers.
I mean, blackmail is the only possible solution.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, maybe, but it was a fun game to go to see Josh Allen look kind of human. Like that was like one of my responses, like, oh, I just assumed that he would get a third down every single time. Because he's Josh Allen, but the Falcons defense looked pretty dang good. It was a fun little time off, but back in the saddle now. We're in week 7, boys, and we are going to be participating today in a rookie draft redo where we only get 6 weeks worth of information to change all of our dynasty futures. Like some of the players that I was ranking, I'm like, I don't want to give up yet. I don't want to abandon any priors. And yet, like, that's kind of where people are, because a lot of the players that we're going to talk about today, in redraft circles, people were taking them really high. Much less in dynasty rookie drafts, people were saying, hey, I'm taking, RJ Harvey or Caleb Johnson or whoever.
We felt so good about this rookie class. And this mock draft, we're actually only drafting 6 players because that's about all that matters somehow from this group. Like, what?
I was making my own top 24 before this, so we all had kind of our own rankings to go off of. And once you got to 8, I was like, man, this could be anybody. Like, based on
that's what I mean.
Based on what we've seen, but then also trying to balance, we have a month and a half-ish of data, and then you also want to balance it with your priors, right? Draft capital, production profiles, all those things. I'm excited to see where you guys have these players, because there were some guys I had way lower than I thought, some higher. So very excited to see where these guys go in our mock.
Yeah, and
I can tell you, my in our main dynasty league, I had I had some. I had a late first, so it's like, but I had some seconds and a third, and I left the draft with Pat Bryant, Kyle Williams, and then with the second to last pick in the third round, I took Isaac Tesla. And it was like, dude, after the preseason, there was nothing you could do to bring me down. I was soaring with the Eagles. I was like, I hit on all 3 of these players. And it was like everything the team was saying, everything they're doing, you're like, it was a hit. And these 3 guys, I mean, Tesla's getting more snaps now, but it's like, what happened? Put these guys on the field.
Yeah, if you would have told me that Drake May would be, balling out the way that he was, and this team is begging for some answer wide receiver, you're like, okay, maybe Kyle Williams had a game. Just a game. Doesn't have to have 5 or 6, but I've literally heard nothing about him.
Yeah, he's had a snap.
Oh.
Is that it? One?
I think. I don't even know. I'm going to go check.
Maybe we should go back, just watch that snap and overanalyze it. Just think about
Let's see. Kyle Williams. Okay, 22. We had 2 targets. I did not realize we had 2 targets this week, guys. 22% of the snaps. Those 2 targets turned into a line of 0 for 0.
Okay.
But hey, baby steps.
2 targets is a career high.
It
Glass half
is.
full.
Yes.
Yeah,
He doubled his career.
there's some players you can only do that because like they're not breaking into the rotation. Like Pat Bryant, I've watched a couple Broncos games. So I'm like, I guess he's on the field every once in a while, and it just seems like they don't.
Really nice. He had a. I mean, speaking of Sean Payton calling him the Michael Thomas, he had a great slant route right at the beginning of the game, and it was watching going, oh, hey, okay, maybe we'll get some Pat Bryant. No, that's it.
Oh, well, so we'll go through
Okay.
2 rounds, do our rookie draft redo. Yeah, I'm just excited to compare where we were. So I'm looking at our picks for May, and I'll bring those up to kind of compare where we're at going into week 7. But the first thing we're going to do is rewind the film.
Weekly Rewind.
Every week, we go back and rewind the film to look at a couple of players, do some deep dives. I had to do a lot today because I was on the road on Sunday. So there are some games that I had no idea what actually happened last night in the Bears-Commanders game because I was at the Falcons. Like, no clue.
Well, yeah, yes, and I also, I mean, I had, for those who have been following my saga of I hate the double Monday night games where they're going, I figured it out. I got the split screen going. My provider had there apparently was a PIP, there was a PIP mode, so I got it going, and I hated it. I don't know what you guys are talking about with your split screens. It's like I've worked hard in my life to get a gigantic television. I have an 80-inch big screen TV, and it's like, yeah, but how about we make 60% of the screen unusable so you can go into split screen mode? This is stupid. It's so dumb, and I can't focus on both. I had, by the time the Falcons game, because that's where I was invested. I had fantasy players over there. I had a very tight league of record matchup with me and Kyle's team versus Josh, and by the time that game is over, that's when the Bears game is getting interested. But it's like I hadn't been part of the story. I wasn't invested in what had really was going on. I hate it.
I did see the screenshot you posted, Mike. There's a lot of screen, not actually showing anything happening.
Yeah, well, because that's when you put 2, just based off of what the dimensions have to be, that's what happens.
I know. Why
dumb.
is the NFL doing this? This is like our 4th one? There's another one this week.
I mean, they're trying. They're always open to try stuff, which I do commend the NFL for that. Of like, they don't just say, "Hey, this is what has always worked. And with their television product, let's not ever try anything new." So they're just trying. They're trying to maximize their ad revenue,
Yeah, of course,
and things like that. But the staggered Monday night is awful. When you do the back-to-back Monday night, I feel, as much as I like to disparage the least coast over there, I feel for you.
There's no chance I'm staying up to watch that game. No chance.
We'll see.
That's what this Monday is, right? I think.
Yes.
I think it's another
Seahawks.
Monday night, and it's the back-to-back.
Texans Seahawks 40.5 over under.
Kicks off, I believe, 10 Eastern. So you boys will know if I stayed up for the game or not based off my Whoop score the morning after. We'll find out.
I can't do it. All right, so you guys decided to watch the Chargers. Both of you guys had separate players here. And the Chargers had a fun little comeback victory over the Dolphins. That Ladd McConkey play. Whew. Just stopped on a dime. That was nice. So, Mike, why don't you start us off first? You watched a man who resurrected his dynasty life from the dead, and completely unrelated, he is on the trade block in our Dino Junior League if you guys are interested.
Oh, completely unrelated. I picked up Kimani Vidal off of the waiver wire right when Najee Harris
Back when it
got
was
hurt.
not cool.
Well, I mean, I don't know how accurate it was at the time, but I just shared the quote from Harbaugh, who's like, Vidal is the next man up. And then it was not really. I mean, then it was Haskins, but I don't know. I mean, after this Sunday, it sure looked like Kimani Vidal Sassoon was the next man up. And I wanted to see how much of this feels real, because he had a huge game, multiple big breakout runs. He had the touchdown, I believe, on a reception. And so I was like, how sticky is this? They are still rumored to be looking at the trading for a running back, as we got the news that Hampton's injury might not be a 4-week. This might be a 6-week. hopefully not any longer than that. And it's like, how much can we count on him? Now, the matchup for him was great. You know, the Dolphins' defense is stinky doo-doo garbage. But my takeaway from it was, like, it was solid, you know, I can see why he was the one, you know, getting snaps. I did not compare him to Haskins, so I will say that up front, but just watching Vidal, really no mistakes. When they had a couple opportunities for the big plays, he got it. The run blocking's not good, but you had a couple plays where it was blocked really well, and on those, Vidal, the speed showed up, so he was able to break a couple big plays there. His touchdown, it was a good short area speed on the touchdown reception. He had some good blitz pickups that he did not whiff on, and so it's like, oh, okay. I mean, this is not a guy who cannot be replaced. I mean, maybe Haskins is the one who ends up with the hot hand next week, but for a player like this to earn his opportunities, you have to come in and not make egregious mistakes. You know, see Travion Henderson of just whiffing blocks all over the place.
And he glitched.
Now. Yeah, and just some weird stuff. So it was my big takeaway. Not a lot of hey, it was solid. He got what the team asked him to do, and then the speed showed up on a couple of the plays. So it seems like he should be a safer, usable replacement type of running back. This isn't you're so excited. I mean, I did the same thing you did, Kyle. I'm like, hey, I put him on the block. If someone wants to come and give me, you know, just a little bit of capital or something so that they can get a replacement running back for a few weeks, I'm happy to trade him. Or in the meantime, like I think he's got the Titans coming up here in a couple of weeks. Like, I'll be happy to play Vidal against that team. You know, so overall good, but not freaking out of like beating the chest of like all the Vidal truthers. Like, we did it, we won, we were right. It's like, no, he's capable.
If you're the Hampton manager, would you be saying, hey, I'm willing to like start the offer at like a third to see if I can get him for a couple of weeks?
Sure. Yeah, I'd be open to that, but
it probably will cost you more.
It will, and that's where the divide comes in, because it's like, if someone offered me a second for Vidal, I can't see a world where I don't take that. My team in particular, I happen to be okay with my running back depth, of my strategy of just loading my bench with the backup running backs. It has been proven pretty fruitful this year. So, and if I had Hampton, I don't think I'm trading a 2 for Vidal, because I don't know that he's going to stick around as the long-term backup.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. A third, maybe 2/3 if you're like really needing running back help.
Yeah, maybe 2/3. Maybe 2/3 can get it done.
Yeah. But it's funny, Mike, when you were saying like, you know, the Vidal truthers were like, hey, look at this. I was about to say,
yeah,
score 1 for the fantasy and dynasty nerds who loved him last year. Right?
No, you can't take it away. You cannot take.
He'll always have
Sunday's performance.
Week 6 in 2025 when he was the running back 8. He'll always have that. In the same game, I watched rookie tight end Oronde Gadsden, who quietly has kind of been on the rise in terms of his playing time, even before this last week's breakout. He's been at 26, 48%, 54%, and then this week, 75% of the snaps. Now, some of that has been injury related, with like Will Dissly missed weeks 3, 4, and 5. But even with Dissly back this week and Conklin playing the last couple of weeks, he is still leading the tight end room in route share for now 3 weeks in a row. So if you're not familiar with him, we didn't really highlight him a ton during rookie season, just because he was a 5th round pick and was kind of obviously overshadowed by the big two of, you know, Warren and Loveland during rookie draft season. But
and Dissly and Conklin is like, that's a solid group of veterans that you would have to overtake
for sure. But yeah, with this past week without Quentin Johnston in the lineup, he saw 8 targets, went 7 for 68, no touchdown. Like I said, did play a season high 75% of the snaps. Went back and watched him. He's not really lining up, especially on his pass routes, as like a traditional inline tight end. They kind of have him split or out wide, which, as I mentioned before on the show, like that's kind of what I'm looking for these athletic tight ends to make an impact. he's not really blocking at all on these pass plays. He's doing like a fake chip, like the DN kind of goes by him and he like gives him a little push in the shoulder and then he's gone. So he's not really involved as like a true blocker, which when you think about who I'm trying to target in fantasy, like give me the guy that's running the routes for Justin Herbert. Now, I'm not going to get over my skis on this and say like, oh, this is going to be incredible because of course Huge was out. Ladd is still going to be doing his thing. Keenan has kind of fallen off, but he's still going to earn targets on a somewhat consistent basis. So I do think for the rest of this season, it might not be consistent at all. But I think if you play in like shallow leagues and he's somehow on your waiver wire, or you're looking for like a depth tight end as a rebuilder, the depth chart moving forward is really, really nice for Gadsden's opportunity. They have Disley for this year and next year. Conklin is a free agent. He's on a 1-year deal just this season. So there is a world that exists where this exciting rookie tight end has a year 2 leap in him next year as a potential starter for this offense. So yeah, if you got him and you kind of scooped him up late in rookie drafts, I think you got to be pretty excited about what you've seen from him, albeit in a small sample so far this year.
Yeah, it's just not normal for a day 3 tight end to see this type of volume this early on. Like already has 2 games of 7+ targets. I went back over the last decade and it's like the only dudes that are seeing this are like Evan Ingram, Kyle Pitts, Brock Bowers. And then he's already had 2 games. It's like, Tyler Warren's one of those guys. Mason Taylor's done it too, but all of those guys had a ton of draft capital. So yeah, I like it. And it's a fun stash right now to figure out what this team is next year. It was nice seeing Trey Harris up there getting about 80% of snaps. Yeah. I know he's just like the Quentin Johnson role, but it's just cool. Like who knows what this team is next year when they're all healthy, hopefully. Hampton, the offensive line. I'm assuming Keenan's not back, but he could play forever. Whatever it is, it's a fun young team that then has a tight end. Now, eventually you can't do that where you just have a tight end that everybody on film knows this guy's not blocking. Like the Falcons game yesterday, it was like, it says they were in 12 personnel, but like Pitts was the slot wide receiver that like they didn't want to block. And they brought in Charlie Warner to block. Like, you have to eventually do that. So, like, Disley has his
formations
place.
Looked so strange to me last night. Like, guys were just all over.
Yeah. In the backfield, I mean, they brought Bijan. They would line him up wide and then bring him in motion and a lot of stuff. But,
Dude,
a lot of great screen plays.
Zach was in the lab during the bye week. You could tell, like, they came out with some fun ideas in this game. I don't know that'll always work going forward, but it's at least good to see some OCs like kind of getting creative, especially during the bye week. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Atlanta. There's no way they disappoint after, a primetime win.
No chance at all. I watched DK Metcalf because I don't know if you guys feel this way, but Steelers games have kind of been mostly off my radar for DFS purposes. They've, aside from week 1, they're just not been shootouts most of the time. They're kind of slow. They were on the bye. I haven't. So I went back and watched all DK Metcalf this year. Dude, the routes that he's running and the targets he's seeing are so volatile. And yet, they're also the high leverage ones that when they hit, they're awesome for fantasy. So if you just box score watch, like, wow, he has a touchdown in 4 straight games, it's because he's getting end zone shots, deep shots, back shoulder throws, the Devontae Adams throws that Aaron Rodgers used to make. These are and I would say like DK Metcalf is a budget version of Devontae Adams where like he's big, but like he's not really a tactician. Like when it comes to routes, it's like that he's not that, but he's so big that you can kind of get away with it sometimes. Some of these routes will not work where he's running a go route on 28% of his routes. And there's going to be games where those just don't hit, but Rodgers doesn't care. That's what I love about his route tree is Rodgers like, I know what you're doing and I know how to throw that. I've been doing this for 20 years or whatever, throwing those same balls over and over. He's been pressed at the line of scrimmage on 51% of his routes. That's the highest in the entire league. And when you're a cornerback, you look at this big dude and say, okay, I got to like somehow like get in his face, but DK can kind of throw you aside. He's been really good. Do you guys know that he's 5th in the league in yards per route run?
I did not.
It shocked me. It's the same.
Aaron Rodgers could throw a better deep ball on one of those passes this weekend, it would be even better.
I'd love some more layup throws, but in a half PPR, like so in full PPR, he should get docked. He's never going to see 8-9 catches the way that some of these other wide receivers do. But guys, they're second in the AFC right now. They're the second seed.
Yes. Yeah, the if you look at what the playoff picture it is, it's pretty wild right now. And then moving forward, looking at our one of our strength of schedule tool for our Join the Foot supporters, looking at the schedule adjusted version of the strength of schedule tool. Pittsburgh for wide receivers, it's the second best remaining schedule. They have one. So over the next month, they got Green Bay in 2 weeks, so that's a negative matchup, and then the Chargers. But aside from that, that's really the only negative a negative matchup they have coming up. I mean, and of course, it always correlates, but it's like they're third for quarterback. So and this was like, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but back when I looked at, they're also second for running back. So holy crap, the schedule is opening up here for the Steelers. But it's like back, a couple years ago, halfway through the year, when I was like, dude, I think you should probably go get Dak, because the schedule was just like, the schedule was so green for quarterback, so green for wide receiver. It was also red for running back. So back talking about when the Dallas Cowboys did it, but this is a good looking rest of season schedule. I'm not advising anyone out there to like go aggressively buy DK Metcalf, but it's like, if you have him, things could be looking really good here over the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, like he's a strong wide receiver too for your team. And yet in Dynasty, I bet people rank him more as like wide receiver 25 to 30 range. So like a little bit lower. I bet you can get a deal done. Let's say it's the manager that, is just like, hey, this is an older asset. He's fine, but they don't view him as a building block. Let's say they're rebuilding. Would you flip Travis Hunter for DK Metcalf if you're in win now mode?
You're getting ahead of it. We'd have a rookie redraft coming up, and
Betz?
I am curious where Travis Hunter is going to fall into
too.
that. Like,
I mean, if you're going for
a unicorn,
if you're going for a title this year, I think that's a fair move that I would make if I'm a top 2 or 3 team, and I think that DK Metcalf is the missing piece. I'm fine with that. Man, I really want Travis Hunter to be a thing. We'll talk about it more when we do the mock, but I think if you're a contender, I think that's a move I would do.
I just think there's a little bit of a window where, yes, the touchdowns have been there, but because of the age, and people also look at Rodgers like, well, he might not be around next year, so what is Metcalf beyond this? I think we know what Metcalf is, and we know his contract situation is getting paid a boatload of money. If you can flip a younger, promising player to a team that knows they're rebuilding, I think that it could be valuable for you, and Mike brought up the schedule. So just kind of kick the tires. There's a bunch of guys like that in that wide receiver 2, 3 range. Like we just traded for Jalen Waddle because we were like, I think this guy can help us rest the season, and beyond this year, he has a ton of value. Guys in that range, I think you can go for. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, we are going to jump into a 2-round rookie draft redo. This is going to be 1 quarterback, and for those Superflex people, when we get to the 2 quarterbacks, we talk about Ward, we talk about Dart, we can kind of say, here's where they were going to Superflex, but we kind of said before the season, like it's not a huge difference in those leagues before the season. It didn't really change, so let's get into it.
The Fantasy Footballers Mock Draft.
All right, the order is going to go Mike, Betz, and then myself, and we will just keep repeating there. Feel free to kind of mull on it, and I'll kind of share some other values too, but I would say the first pick is not as big of a slam dunk as it was before, although I still feel the same.
That was my sound of, I don't actually love having the first pick here because I think I have to be the one to say it. I'm not going to take Ashton Genty.
Wow. Betz?
I'm going to take Ibuka.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that, Mike. That is spicy.
I'm going to do it.
Kyle, do you?
Like, it just, We have to react to the information that we are giving, and guys don't just do that. Guys don't come out and ball the way. I know he's hurt right now, and it's a super, super big bummer. But he's already balling out. He's tied now to Baker, which Baker is going to be one of the guys that we want he has been. We want wide receivers tied to Baker Mayfield. It's just accept that is where we are. Is Mike Evans going to keep even if he stays on the team, Mike Evans will be surpassed next year by Ibuka. Is Chris Godwin ever going to be back into form? Probably. I mean, they bet on it. They gave him all that money, but when you hit on a draft pick like Ibuka, he comes in and he takes over. And because of the shelf life of wide receivers and my belief that he is truly going to be a dominant player with a great quarterback, I'm going to take him over the superstar running backs.
I don't mind it at all, because if you just would have stared down the barrel of JSN a couple years ago and just said, okay, the situation doesn't look good when they draft him. And we said the same thing about Ibuka, right? Like, okay, there's all these veterans. If you just look at the talent of the player, you're going to say they're going to command targets a year, 2 years, and then 3 years down the road, you look at JSN like, whoa, whatever doubts we had at the time are now irrelevant, just completely irrelevant. Different scheme twice over in Seattle, and he's a clear alpha.
Who was the running back the JSN year? It's escaping me. It's escaping you too.
I'll
Kyle.
have to look.
This is your job, Kyle.
This is my job. I have no memory of there was who that could be. Was it Gibbs and Bijan?
Yes, it was.
I've heard of those guys.
It was was it Gibbs? I think that was the big decision that people were making.
Gibbs or JSN?
Do I take Jahmyr Gibbs or do I take JSN? And both home run picks, but I wonder if the Gibbs people were like, we should have taken JSN.
In the main Ballers Dynasty League, we were rebuilding at the time. We took JSN at 102 because we knew we had the long view and just said, hey, we're going to take the wide receiver. We'd love to have Gibbs as well, but it looks way better now. Betz, do you feel the same way about him at 101? I think the discussion is totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, what's there to say? He's been incredible. He's tied to Baker Mayfield, and it's hard to put into words what Baker is doing because and I don't mean this to be disrespectful to the rest of the depth chart of Tampa Bay, but he's truly doing it with one of the worst supporting casts relative to what's happening. Ibuka looks like a superstar. Mike Evans when healthy is awesome. Godwin when healthy is awesome, but those guys have not been healthy. So he's done it with a rookie wide receiver, and
McMillan is still there.
And who knows when he's coming back with his neck injury. He's literally doing it with practice squad level players currently, and he's doing it every week. So Baker looks awesome. I want pieces of this offense, obviously. I actually had him at 2, so if Mike didn't take him, I was going to take him, and I was expecting that to be whoa, shocker, Ibuka too. But I think he's firmly in play at the first pick in this class just because he's been so good. And we also think about this well, he wasn't the first wide receiver taking the NFL draft and all those things, but he's still a first-round NFL wide receiver, draft capital-wise, and the peripherals and what he's done. I just think if you have him, you have to feel so excited about what you've seen so far.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think the top 2 or 3 feel pretty secure to me about where I'd go, and you can convince me of any order. So I'm assuming at 102, you'd be taking Genty.
Yeah, I've got Genty here. Obviously, it hasn't been the start we've all been, hoping for. We thought he hit the ground running and all those things, but the offensive line is a concern, Geno is a concern, and all those things. But at the end of the day, these first-round NFL running backs that get not just first-round draft capital, but top 10, the hit rate on these guys is so insane. So still love Genty. Still very excited to have him in Dynasty. So yeah, if it's not Ibuka for me, I would take Genty here.
Genty's still being targeted on 20% of his routes, which is really, really good. He's seeing over 24 weighted opportunities per game. So remember there was a period of the first couple weeks where man, why are they not throwing him screens? And then it's slowly kind of picked up the pace. Yeah. So he'll be totally fine. I would take Genty at 1. Just because of how scarce the position is. And
is Ibuka 2 for you, or is it going to be?
So I wanted to have this conversation because I came in, I had McMillan when we did this at 103, and Jeremy and I took McMillan at 103, and I think people are still disappointed even after a 2-touchdown game. I think I would lean Ibuka based on what we know, based on Baker.
Okay.
But I think McMillan can be in the conversation if you wanted him above Ibuka and you think he profiles down the road as just like Drake London. He is the alpha for this team. He sees an insane target share. I'm totally fine with him being that guy. Who knows beyond this year? But the Panthers are 3-3. They've been competitive. They probably bought Bryce another year, which I don't know if that's the best for fantasy outcome, but the team at least is somewhat competent in the second year with Dave Canales. So I would take Ted McMillan here. Do you guys feel disappointed by him so far? Because I think he's been good to, like, this is what he was expected to do. Not a disappointment at all.
I'm very, very encouraged from what I've seen, because with these guys, you can't, like, production has to matter. It has to factor in. Like, that's why I'm going with Ibuka at over Ted McMillan. But there is watching the games. Like, there's all I love nerd stuff. I love the advanced analytics. I rely on them. I use them. I think they're very valuable. But you still have to, like, how does this guy look on a field? And because you can't get everything from the analytics, you have to see, like, does this guy, like, can he make really difficult contested catches? There's different types of, like, there's different scales of contested catches. There's what Jamar Chase did, catching that touchdown this past Sunday, and then there's the one where, like, a guy's kind of on your back. It's like they're both contested catches and they count. But, like, Ted McMillan, he looks like it, and I know it's been a kind of a big joke going on, especially this year for us, of us talking about, do they have it in them? Do they have the dog? Because, like, I want to see that. I want to see that a guy cares about football, and he's like, they'll do what it takes to make the play. And I've so far I have seen that from McMillan.
Yeah, I agree. He definitely looks like a legit alpha for his team. Now, I feel like as long as Bryce Young is the quarterback for this team, there will be some meat on the bone, kind of, from fantasy perspective. Doesn't mean he won't be productive and be awesome, but if he's playing with Baker Mayfield, it's a completely different conversation, obviously. We were talking, I think it was like 2 weeks ago maybe on the show, or I don't remember which one it was, but we were talking about if they would move him around the formation more, they could unlock so much more of Ted's game. And there were some injuries. Remember, they had Leggett out for a while with the hamstring. I think we'll get Jalen Coker back this week. But it's like, if they can get those guys on the perimeter and just kind of help clear some stuff out, let Tet move inside and outside and kind of do what, like, real wide receiver ones do in the NFL, I do think he has, like, a really, really insane floor ceiling combo. So I'm, like Mike, super excited about what we've seen so far. And remember, 8th overall pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, I just pulled a list of every wide receiver that's done what he's done through the first 6 games of their career. So 27 catches, 380 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think in redraft and in best ball, we're like, man, I wish we had more ceiling games. There's only 11 dudes that did it, and it's all the studs. Mari Cooper, Stephon Diggs, Michael Thomas, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Chase, Olave, Puka, Malik Neighbors.
We're still on Olave as a stud there?
Yeah,
Kyle?
yeah. Who leads the league in expected fantasy points? In my expected fantasy points league.
In your targets league.
Every week, Betz and I talk on the DFS pod because they never move his price, and he is the most boring click ever. And yet, in full PPR, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
But that's a really impressive list.
Embrace the scam.
He is on pace for 182 targets. He has 1 top 24 fantasy week. That is insane.
Yeah, that's half point.
Half point, yeah.
Oh. So the top 3 we just said would go Ibuka, Genty, Ted McMillan. Mike, you are back up. And this was where we had...
This is brutal.
This is where we had Travis Hunter back in May.
Oh, that's not happening.
I know, it's not.
That is not happening. This is an incredibly difficult decision between 3 guys. Oh my gosh. When we do these things, you don't want to, like, completely spoil all the names, but the 3 names here, I'm sure we'll all have the same 3, but it's Hampton, Warren, And then for me, it's Judkins.
Those are the three for me.
Same here.
And like having watched, in the draft season, it wasn't that I disliked Hampton by any stretch. It just I wasn't nearly as hot and bothered by him. I know he's got profiles, everything's there, production, size, he can catch the ball. I thought he was a very good player. And I didn't know if I was he can be elite. And honestly, watching Hampton so far, I don't know that. I mean, his situation's incredible, but is he truly that great? I still it's the jury's still out for me. It's not on Judkins. That dude immediately came in, and within 2 carries, you're like, oh goodness gracious, this is a very different running back. He's in a really, really crappy situation. That who freaking knows if when, I guess, when the Cleveland Browns will get it turned around. And then Tyler Warren, it's the positional advantage that Tyler Warren is going to bring for a long time. Now, I guess he has his own situationship, should you say, of what is this team going to do with Daniel Jones? You don't want to overreact to 6 weeks of Daniel Jones looking really good. And the Colts are number 1 in the AFC. Everybody, I don't know if people
obviously
realize that.
Just like we all predicted,
if the playoffs started right now, they would be the top seed. So it seems like we're progressing that Daniel Jones will be the guy. But then, of course, he's Daniel Jones. We saw him ball out and get himself a long-term contract, only to immediately turn right back into the pumpkin.
He could do it again.
And he could do it again. That's what the Colts are. I mean, that's going to be a really tough choice for them. I'm going to take. Sorry if I took everyone's talking points right there. Oh gosh, I'm going to take Warren.
Oh,
I'm going to do it.
Hey,
I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Tyler Warren.
You don't have
right
to convince me, brother.
Yeah, I know, but that's a crazy hard choice between those 3 guys who you would want long term.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have too much to add on what Mike said about all 3 of these players. Those were the 3 that I had next in my rankings as well. I will lean with draft capital with Hampton here at this pick, but if anybody wanted to take Judkins, I think that's totally fine. I'm with you, Mike. When we talked about Hampton as a prospect coming out, I thought he was a really good runner, but I don't know. I guess everybody else said he's incredible, he's amazing. And I was like, well, he kind of gets what's blocked, but then he'll break tackles when he can get to the second level. But I saw him, at least this last year, kind of ran into the back of his lineman a lot, I thought. But the production profile and the analytical side of what he brought to the table was off the charts. Then you add first round NFL draft capital onto the top of that, and you're like, okay, this is going to be fun. So we've seen, I think, a lot of good and some really fun tackle breaking skills, but it hasn't been perfect yet. And I think a lot of that has to do with some of the struggles in the offensive line.
Yes, I mean, that's fair.
Obviously this year, injury also is not great, but think about him next year, healthy, probably no Najee, the full runway here, and then they get Slater back, they get Joe Alt back, they get their offensive line going. You could see a massive ceiling here for Hampton moving forward. So yeah, anywhere in the 4, 5, 6 range, I think is fair.
And I don't know that we will ever have the answer to this question, but it's everything became wheels up because we thought Najee was going to wear an eye patch for the rest of his life, and we didn't know if he was going to be playing football this year. All of a sudden, Najee's ready to go, and Najee came in, and it was we're splitting work, between him and Najee, and if he had not torn his Achilles, was that going to be truly the plan for the majority of the season? And and Hampton, for how great for fantasy the last 3 weeks was, he's under 4 a carry in 4 of his 5 games. He had the one where he had the huge 54. I mean, that was a manimal run, not taking that away from him, but that was the explosive play when in terms of running the ball. And then the receptions are the shocker to me. In the G-Row system, we haven't seen at least a consolidated target share to one particular running back, but 7, 5, and 6 targets is why. And I mean, that's 6 targets in the game he got hurt and played 58% of the snaps. So that's the bigger surprise to me Not that he can do it. That was part of the profile. It was just that they were
Right.
willing to feature that part of the game so much. So he remains a bit of a mystery to me, but where everything says I should not doubt Hampton at all. And yet I still have a couple voices in the back of my head where I'm not fully convinced.
If he wasn't hurt, would he go above Warren in your head? I know that's like, we're taking a dynasty view, but like that part, at least like you feel a little bit of a twinge, like, oh gosh, I know he's hurt.
I'm really, really trying not to factor in. I mean, I took Ibuka first, and how long is Ibuka gonna miss? Like,
He'll probably miss
3 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd take Judkins. He has the third most touches of any day 2 running back to start a career the first 5 games. So it's like the workload's insane. He had 3 straight top 12 weeks, and I don't care about the team. I don't care who their quarterback is because they won't be the quarterback next year. So he's a good player. I took him at 106.
He is a great player.
I took him at 106 in this draft in May, and you could argue him as high as 104 if you want to. I would be totally fine with that. I think he's going to be in the league for a long time. We talked about him a couple weeks ago when I did a film review. He's like a souped up David Montgomery to me. Like I think he's better overall player. 107. This is where we took.
No, that's actually the end of the draft. Everybody.
Oh, we're done. We're done. So
yeah,
figure it out. Good luck. Yeah, this is where we took Ibuka at 107. So he's not on the board, Mike, because you took him first overall. You get your guy.
Yeah. All right. So this is where we have to try and make some decisions about what is actually happening in the NFL compared to what our priors were, because I would love to sprint to the podium and take Travion Henderson here. And like if you go through the list of guys who could even possibly be worth this based off of what they're doing right now and where it looks like they're going, it's legit like Camp Scadaboo. Looks like you might want to draft him right here. The way that things are going for the Giants with the seeming like a hit for Jackson Dart. Oh man.
I have Henderson 107 in mind, by the way.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with it. I believe the talent is I think it's over. I think Henderson's talent is overwhelming. I'm just it's hard not to be so bummed out, frustrated, and nervous about the way that the career has started. I brought it up on the main podcast of like, I'm wondering if Henderson is just getting overwhelmed by the way that the coaching staff is handling it, ball security, all this stuff. And like, is he unable to just play free? I said that I think on Monday, and then, in the twist of fate or whatever, irony, we had that quote. Did you guys see the quote from Vrabel saying like, yeah, maybe we are stressing ball security and stuff a little bit too much? I mean, he basically came out and said confirming what I was talking about of like, you are being so incredibly hard on these running backs for their mistakes, like they don't know. They like I've always found that funny. It's like, oh, you fumbled once, get out of the game, you're done. You're like, a running back knows that fumbling the ball is the worst possible thing that they could do.
One of those dads, they're gonna develop a complex. These running backs.
Exactly. I'm concerned about that. And what's always so hilarious about that is like, your quarterback can go out there and throw 3 interceptions, and they just keep rolling them right back out, and they're the guy. There's no concern next week of who's going to be the guy. It's always funny to me. Or if a wide receiver fumbles, it's the running back fumbling is just, it must be punished. We must be men, and we must let them know how terrible they are for their mistake. But I'm going to stick with Henderson here and believe that he will get it figured out. Because once it's figured out and they know how to use him, he will be electric.
Imagine not wanting guys tied to Drake May. Couldn't be me. Could not be me, Mike.
Wow, man. The Drake, you got to be just
sniffing your
levitating.
Farts. Man, I hope.
Oh, I mean, he's through the clouds with his farts right now. Drake May looks awesome.
I really hope Falcons listening to this because he traded him away at the start of the season. he was also next on my list, by the way, Mike. So I like the call of Travion. Kind of a
Travo?
balance of like your priors, but also taking the long game here and recognizing like obviously it's been bad, but they can only go up from here, as they say. I will take the plunge on Travis Hunter with this pick, and this is the range where it's like, man, you could convince me of 7 different guys and it would make sense. So I will shoot for the ceiling outcome that I think still exists for fantasy. Now, who knows what his future is going to be this year, next year, the year after, how much corner, how much wide receiver.
Man.
I really don't know.
I'm freaked out, man.
But late first round rookie picks oftentimes do not hit year over year, kind of our data. So at this point, it's like I might as well shoot for the moon and just hope. But yeah, it's not been great, obviously, to start. So I will take Hunter here and hope things improve.
You're also hoping that Trevor Lawrence gets better, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Maybe in year 9, maybe that'll happen.
Yeah, we need to get him on the Baker Mayfield
the track.
Sam Darnold court. Send him to Carolina,
dude. That Monday night game. I know that was not this past week, but 2 weeks ago. You got everything you've ever seen from Trevor Lawrence, like an amazing throw, a boneheaded play, falling down, running in, like it was just the full
falling down twice,
the full allotment of Trevor Lawrence of what he's been in his career, which is fine. I mean, he's probably like the 20th best quarterback in the league, 19th.
Sure,
which means he's the 20th best in the world.
They're saying. Some are saying. Yeah, that's definitely not great, but they are tied to Trevor Lawrence, and obviously he's part of this future, so we'll see.
Do not trade Travis Hunter away for beans right now. Please don't do that.
No. And when I say I'm freaking out, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing a fire sale. I'm just looking at him on my bench going, uh-oh, did I spend the 102? Like, I mean, Hunter was, I saw him a lot at like the 102, the 103, and it's like those first 6 picks now that we've seen, 6 weeks of the NFL is like, no, I feel really, really good with those guys.
Yep. 20 receptions through 6 games is not terrible. He's been targeted on 20% of his routes. That's fine. It's fine. 1.20 yards per out run is like egregious for a player that we came in with, oozing with upside. So I get that there. So Betz took him there. I actually have a hard decision here. So I'm at the
because no one's good anymore.
That's exactly right. I'm going to think about it. We're going to take a break.
Well, okay.
And we're going to be right back. I quit the league. That's what I've decided. I am out. This league sucks. Honestly, I think I could take either giant here. I think Scadaboo or Jackson Dart. I know it's a 1-quarterback league. In a super flex, I said I would take Dart as high as like 106, 107. I'd probably take that top 6 that Mike talked about first. Just that's how I play super flex. But yeah, I like Jackson Dart, just to give you some numbers so far. He has 167 rushing yards in his first 3 starts. The only quarterbacks to do better than that, Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson over the last decade in their first 3 starts. Like that's a cheat code in the game that we play. So, you know what? I'm going to take Jackson Dart because
all right.
I don't know how I ended up here. I liked him in the pre-draft process. Then I said, please stay away. I don't want my name attached to him. And now I'm back.
That's true. I remember in February, you were dropping us lines in Slack like, hey, I think this guy could go in the first round. And then you started to hear some buzz. Like, he might sneak into the first round.
I can confirm.
And Kyle
was a Jackson Dart guy. And then he abandoned him. And now he's trying to scrape back some credit.
Exactly. Now he wants the credit. No, I agree, though, Kyle. Like, for fantasy...
I'm just here for the credit.
Obviously, that's how you always been.
That's what fantasy is. Is literally the entire game. Is I get credit because I thought a player was good, and then they're good.
For fantasy, if he's going to run the way that he is, I think this is an awesome pick in the back of the first round. And, I mean, we'll see what the Giants do. Like, Jackson Dart might save Brian Daboll's job. He's been awesome, and it's so funny. Like, you watch Brian Daboll on the sidelines with Russ in the first, 2 or 3 weeks? Does not look like he's having fun. The second Jackson Dart is in, the whole sideline, the whole team is just, it's just different with him and Scadaboo. So I do think this backfield of these 2 players, this is the future of New York.
Mike?
Yeah, my pick is easy. It's Cam Scadaboo.
Yeah.
It's Cam Scadaboo that I do hope that the loyal listeners of the Dynasty podcast, it's the
You
same.
get
I'm doing
some
the same thing as
credit.
Kyle. I'm doing the same thing as Kyle of like Scadaboo. We were just like, I will keep Scadaboo here in my rankings until the NFL doesn't draft him or drafts him really low. Unfortunately, that's what happened. So we had to adjust because look, the hit rates on day 3 running backs it's bad. And then we talked about, I do think he can take over the role from Tracy, but the Tracy injury really timed up very, very well for Scadaboo honestly perfect he gets to be a bell cow right as Jackson Dart is taking over. And there's the excitement, the electricity of having an identity as a team, I don't know. It's weird. You're watching it on the TV, that Thursday night after party that they had. And it's like, I don't know. I could feel the buzz in my living room you're like, dude, this is wild. Like a movement is happening and it feels good and you want to be a part of it. And take that, NFL. Scadaboo was good. You bunch of idiots.
Yeah, take that, Eagles.
Oh, that team is.
Yeah.
I almost did
Betz
them for
had
my
a
film
very
review,
bad day that night.
and I couldn't bring myself to do it. That team is in shambles. The Super Bowl hangover is quite real. We didn't even talk about this with these two players. Next year, they're just going to drop Malik Neighbors back into the lineup. Like that trio is going to be so fun next year. So I'm very excited about that. At the 11th pick.
Yeah, good luck.
Oh, man. So Matthew Golden went 12th in our mock last time we did this. I suppose I will take him here.
I thought you were going to say, how far can we drop him?
I really don't have any new analysis, if I'm being honest. I still am concerned, but he's at least flashed some big play ability. Who knows what things are going to look like when Jaden Reed is back healthy, if he is this year at all. Christian Watson will come back. He signed a 1-year deal to kind of come back for 2026, but he is averaging 2.06 yards per out run as Matthew Golden, first round wide receiver. At this point in the draft, that's enough signal to say, hey, maybe he can develop. So still not running all the routes, but at least did see, a career, obviously very early, career high in terms of his production coming out of the bye week. So at least that gives you some confidence that potentially this could keep going in the right direction.
Yep, I had him at 11 as well. And I think the same analysis that we had before is in a double flex league, you can start him. You will have weeks where you are so frustrated because he's diet Jameson Williams. And that...
What happens when Watson's back?
Who knows? It's going to be fun.
Reed.
We'll figure it out.
He's fine where this spot is because it's so...
Who knows?
You can run 30 routes or 4. No one knows. It's going to be fun.
I will take, at the end of the first round, RJ Harvey and just have the long view that...
Yep, I'm not out on Harvey yet.
This is not the end of this player. I think we gave the stat a couple weeks ago of here's what they do in the first month of the season. That's pretty normal for a lot of stud running backs. Like James Cook, his first year not only was not helpful, but it stunted the way that we viewed him moving forward. And I think Harvey's kind of the same. He belongs here. He was boosted because we were shocked by his draft capital, and that's why people were taking him at 106, 7.
And Sean Payton too.
Yeah.
Of just the history of the Sean Payton fantasy running backs. I mean, look at Dobbins off the street. I know last week stunk, but Dobbins, if in redraft, Harvey was 4th, 5th round, and then Dobbins was, I don't know, late whenever someone finally decided to take Dobbins. And I mean, that's a credit to the reporting out of Denver from Albright. He was like, guys, I'm telling you, it's going to be J.K. Dobbins. And he was 100% correct.
Yep. All right, so top of the second round, we're going to move a little quicker on this to end the show. Our second round.
Oh, right. I don't know what I have one pick I know I want to make.
Okay, I have somebody I'm excited. I mean, a couple players I'm excited to take, but 13th overall, 201, Mike.
The start of his career has just been completely derailed by injuries, but he was the 10th overall pick. And so I'm gonna stick with Colston Loveland here. We saw, I think it was week 4, maybe, where it was it seemed like the snaps and the routes were rising. He got some targets early, then he got hurt, missed a game, and now after the bye week, it's still, to what I'm analyzing, it still looks like the rise will happen.
Yes.
He ran more routes than Cole Kmet. There you go.
He finally ran more routes in week 6.
There you go.
Coming off the bye.
It's still going to happen for Colston Loveland. It's just the fact that Tyler Warren is doing what he's doing makes Loveland feel like just an absolute bum. And that's true. It's what it feels like. But tight ends take time. Trey McBride we had a Viking funeral for Trey McBride. It was RIP. He's never going to do anything. And look who's the number 1 or number 2 dynasty tight end now. You have to give these guys some time to grow into the role. And I believe in Ben Johnson and what he's doing.
Yeah, I agree. He was also questionable for this game too. So he had the hip injury before the bye week, and he made a really nice play in that game before the bye in the first quarter, got injured on the play, and then, who knows what would have happened in that game, obviously, but then coming out with the questionable tag and also coming out of the bye, seeing him run more routes, you do have to feel pretty encouraged about what the trajectory could be for the next, few weeks. So I'm with you on that, Mike. If he fell, he was going to be my pick. I will take another Bear. I'm going to take Luther Burden.
Yep. Dang it. I wanted my next pick to be easy.
Yeah, it's kind of the same argument as Loveland. Like, obviously, the start hasn't been great. He's been a part-time player. He's behind Olamide Zaccheaus, all those things. But it's like they took him with a early second-round pick. They have a plan for him. He's tied to Ben Johnson, and Caleb is playing better. So all the same arguments that kind of Mike said about Loveland. I'm hopeful there's a brighter future ahead for Luther Burden.
Yep. The guys I had right here, Loveland, Burden, and then Harold Fannin Jr., I would be totally comfortable taking here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's weird to see Njoku's involvement just like steadily decline to they really, and I know it's Gabriel because of the way that he throws is really short, short stuff, and Fannin gets some gimmicky plays, but pretty promising for a tight end who was taken, round 3. He has 28.
Was he 3? I thought he was 4. Was it 3?
It was 3, 67th overall. He has 28 receptions on the season so far. That's more than Egbuka or McMillan. So,
guys,
pretty cool stuff.
The Browns had a pretty good draft.
I know, and then they set themselves up for next year to get Jacksonville's pick.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh! So I'm back up.
You're up.
Oh, brother. I am out of rankings here, guys. Because it's like, it might be fun to take a chance on Woody Marks right here, but Woody Marks, the situation smells like it's going to be fun this year, and then next year it'll be like, see you later, pal.
I did the same thing in my ranks. I put him around this range, and then I started to think about it. I was like, I feel like next year, I know this game, you're a day 3 running back, it won't be as valuable. So
yeah, the team they've already done this to us. Like, Damian Pierce looked like he was it, and then they're like, see ya, pal. We'll put someone else in here. My brand doesn't want me to take Mason Taylor here, but like he's the second option for the Jets already. He has established that. Dude, I don't know. Kyle, pick a guy for me. Good Lord.
Yeah, you're picking Mason Taylor.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Who cares? At this point, we're in. Oh man, I'm so bummed out. This draft class was hyped.
This
is going to be everything.
The fact that Taylor had the game, or I shouldn't say Taylor. Well, it wasn't a great game. The fact that Fields and the offense had the game they did, and that's the last thing we all just saw, makes this pick feel so incredibly bad. But
yeah,
the last couple games, like we were seeing, okay, snaps are coming up, usage is coming up, targets. So I don't think Mason Taylor will really ever turn into like a difference maker at tight end, but he will be, I think, in the tight end 10 to 15 range most weeks.
He's the Austin Hooper.
And you can start him. And in the second round of your rookie draft, if you get a starter moving forward, like that is valuable. So I'm with you, Mike. It doesn't also feel great. But
Justin Fields will not be the starter quarterback for the Jets. Maybe by the end of the year, but certainly not next year.
Dude, I told Kyle this. I was like, hey, the best and worst thing that happened to this team this year was the Aaron Glenn sideline dance in Tampa, which the song that was played with that and the whole meme that was created, phenomenal content.
Oh, man. When they were putting Earth, Wind, and Fire over it.
But since that moment, it has been a sharp downhill turn. in New York. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm with you.
That was their
on Taylor.
The Bears Hail Mary from last year.
That's right.
They cannot recover from the Aaron Glenn dance.
Oh, man. All right. Things are rough in Tennessee. I will take Cam Ward here. I know. I know.
Disgusting.
I'm not sure how good he is or isn't, or how bad he is, or any of that stuff, but he was the first pick in the draft, and maybe things get turned around in Tennessee. That's all I have to say.
In a super flex, he doesn't get into the first round for me.
Yeah, I think somewhere
That's
on the fringe of 1-2 for me, but yeah. It's been a terrible start.
It's been absurdly bad. And we talked about this beforehand. We said, hey, their coaching staff might not be around. We gave the stat about like 50% of quarterbacks taken in the first round over the last decade have either a new play caller, new head coach. He's already coming through for that. So TBD of what the rest of that team is. The skill position players are scary. Like just really, 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 really bad. So that's part of the analysis with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm just going to have fun here, and because I just want to feel alive, and I'm just going to take Bill.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he should have been my pick. Kyle, you just saved it for yourself.
I did, and also it's not really
Bill should have been the 204.
It's not my brand to take a 7th round running back for Dynasty and say he's going to. It's the brand to basically say that he's one of the nasty boys. But now I'm like, I don't know what to do with him. But 206 here. Is he their starting running back next year? My answer is yes.
I think he is. Assuming, we should caveat this, assuming the next several weeks he's able to maintain the lead role this year and be decent at it, I think he keeps it.
I wouldn't be going out and making moves doing that. I would just, if he's on my team, I'm approaching it as if he's still the dude next year. So Bill Krosky at the 206. 207, right. Mike, is just a juicy spot.
Oh, yeah. It's feeling really, really good. I'm going to go Pat Bryant here. The fact that, day 3, I liked Pat Bryant, and we still have yet to see a Denver Broncos secondary wide receiver really take control. It looked like Troy Franklin was going to do that in the, over those first couple of weeks and render Pat Bryant completely toast. Well, preseason was Marvin Mims. So it was like, oh crap, Marvin Mims is going to be the second starting wide receiver. Nope. Then it was Troy Franklin. But now Franklin's snaps are going down. They're still searching to find it. So that does leave a window of hope and opportunity for Pat Bryant to become, quote, the new Michael Thomas, whatever Sean Payton said he was.
That's what he said.
Yeah,
I don't mind that pick at all. I'm going to go, this is tough. I'm going to go with Torrey Horton at this pick.
Interesting.
I like what Seattle's doing, and I kind of just want a piece of that offense. So that's really what it is here. Obviously, for the rest of this season, I think he'll probably stay in that wide receiver 3 role, assuming health for JSN and Kupp. But there's also a world that exists where next year they move on, and Horton can overtake Cooper Kupp, especially as he gets another year older. So taking the long view with Horton, at least you've seen some flashes already.
I don't mind it. He's been really, really good. He was one of the nasty boys. I'm going to take Jack Besh.
Oh, no, Kyle.
I'm going to take Jack Besh.
Because we're back?
We
Some
never
are saying
left.
we're back.
The best part about
the Raiders, look, they had their brief little love affair. They left the good cuddly relationship with Jack Besh. They're like, ooh, Dante Thornton, you're so big, you're so fast.
They had the summer of love, and they realized
it happens.
He's big, he's fast.
It happens.
It doesn't matter in the NFL. I think that was the main conversation that we had off to the side. Is I know we're all a little biased about Jack Besh, but the role that Thornton plays in the NFL is not super valuable, down the field as a Darius Slayton player. And so if Jack Besh does win the role, and Jacoby Myers has just fallen off the planet
what happened?
The last month. So I still think Trey Tucker has been annoyingly relevant this year. This is a long-term view about Jack Besh. And when he's gotten opportunities this year, you tell me who's been better on a per opportunity basis. A lot of players, but he's been good.
I thought you were going to give us a comparison here, 2 players.
I got to run the numbers. So
yeah, don't worry about it. Before I make my pick, was ETN's 5th year was not picked up. Is that correct?
He's in his 5th year. Because remember, he had 1 year lost.
Oh, because he got hurt. Yes. I'm going to take Tootin here, just based off of this is when you're going to take these guys. It's the situation that you have to take your little lotto scratcher and be like, what's the story? Okay, well the story is ETN has this great year that he's having, and then Jacksonville's like, no, we're not gonna be the ones to pay you. Someone else is, and Tootin has looked very good in his opportunities. I don't, the Tootin truthers. I was not a part of that group, but he does look good, and if he continues to look as good as he has, maybe next year they say, okay, well, we'll try it. We'll go into the year with you as the starter. I think it's a possible outcome.
All right, next pick for me is going to be Jaden Higgins. I didn't love him as a prospect. I liked him, and then Houston took him 34th overall in the NFL draft. So I'm just going to kind of trust draft capital here, and maybe we see Houston coming out of their bye week this week. They play in that Monday night doubleheader against Seattle. I'm really interested to see what the opportunity and snaps look like for him coming out of the bye week. But yeah, I'll take Jaden Higgins and hope for the best.
Nice.
I thought you were typing in Kyle Williams here, Kyle.
No,
you pump faked me.
I never was a Kyle Williams guy, but I'm gonna throw in Caleb.
You don't want to be attached to Drake May? Come on.
I do like that. I'm gonna throw out Caleb Johnson, and here's my thought process. It's been bad.
Hold on. From the where were we? From the 111?
I'll have to go back because that is an interesting process for us to go back and say, who are all the running backs, like the Trey Sermons of the world, that you took them in the first round and then they had a catastrophic dynasty drop. I mean, this is really, really bad for Caleb Johnson. I did go back and say, okay, if you're a day 2 running back and you were this bad, guys, he hasn't scored 6 points in his first 5 games in full PPR total. 6 points total. Part of that group, James Conner, Brian Robinson Jr., Damian Harris, Darrell Henderson. There's some guys that got in the mix later on as big bruising types. They just didn't have a role right away. So that's what I'm saying about Johnson is maybe Aaron Rodgers hates him and says, I don't want this guy on the field. And maybe he has an opportunity. So this is 2026 down the road. Would you rather have Caleb Johnson or a 3rd round pick?
Caleb Johnson.
I was going to say, I liked Caleb Johnson, so I would take him and kind of just hope, like you said, for next year, this is the play. Because with their record and the way that things are trending for Pittsburgh, they're going to be...
He's not going to play.
Right. They're going to be in the hunt for the division, of course, as the year goes on. So unless there's an injury to Gainwell or Warren, I really don't see his role changing a ton this year. So you're kind of hoping it's a 2026 type of play. But yeah, I would take him over a 3rd.
Yeah, I think the manager has the sunk cost of I took him at the 109. I'm not going to trade him.
We are redrafting a supposed good draft class, and we got to pick 109, and we were like, so no, I'm not. I don't want a 3rd. Get out of here.
All right, so let me recap this for you. So in the first round, with Egbuka, Genty, McMillan, Tyler Warren, Marion Hampton, Quinshawn Judkins, Travion Henderson, Travis Hunter, Jackson Dart, Cam Scatteraboo, Matthew Golden, RJ Harvey in the first round. In the second round is a bunch of turds. Colston Loveland, Luther Burden the turd, Harold Fannin Jr., Mason Taylor, Cam Ward, Bill Krosky, Pat Bryant, Torrey Horton, Jack Besh, Byshal Tootin, Jaden Higgins, and Caleb Johnson at the end. We did it. We somehow got through the second round. And yeah, I'm sure everyone's very happy with all of those players in the second round sitting on the roster, just burning a hole. You know what? I look back at that group and I realized that the hardest decision I made in my rookie draft was Besh versus Jaden Higgins. And it's basically at the exact same spot. Doesn't matter.
Yep. I remember you messaging me on the side in a different league being like, dude, I mean, this is huge. What do you think? Which one of these guys? And it's well, the answer was no one.
That's how Dynasty works. Whatever was really important at the time, no one will ever remember those names of those players later on. That's going to do it for this episode. We will be back next week. Make sure you check out all the rest of season rankings you can find as part of the Foot Clan, footclan.com. And we'll talk to you again next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Fantasy Footballers Dynasty Podcast. If you want to take your Dynasty skills to the next level, check out thefantasyfootballers.com.